disturbing stories that will cause you to lose sleep tonight, part 4.
In 2010, a 15-year-old boy named James couldn't help but notice that the door to his attic located in his bedroom was always open. He couldn't understand why, as he was certain he always closed it. One day, as his mother scolded him for being lazy, he retorted, "Well, you're one to talk. You always leave my attic door open." His mother, taken aback, replied, "I haven't touched your attic door in months, and nobody else in this house has either." Rather than feeling fear, James was intrigued. He decided to leave the attic door open and observe what would happen. Well, that night, as he lay in bed, he glanced over at the open door, and to his shock, a figure stood in the doorframe staring right at him. Panicking, he bolted from his room and told his parents, but they dismissed his story as a product of an overactive imagination, and nothing was done. 6 months later, the family moved away for unrelated reasons. A few years passed and James discovered that his favorite teacher, Miss Thompson, had moved into his old house. One day he couldn't resist asking her, "Have you ever seen any ghost wandering around your attic?" Miss Thompson's expression shifted from lighthearted to grave. She said, "Slowly, as soon as we moved in, the door to the attic kept opening. It was so strange that we decided to investigate." She paused, her eyes filled with unease. "We found a hidden trap door that led onto the roof. Turns out someone had been crawling in through that entrance and living in the attic for years." In 2015, a young woman who had been constantly bothered by her noisy neighbor finally decides to confront them about it. She musters up the courage to knock on the door, hoping to get them to be quiet. But to her surprise, the elderly woman opened the door, who looked extremely odd and started hissing at her without any explanation. The girl tried to reason with her, but the old lady just kept hissing at her until she left. The girl considered calling the police, but decided against it and went back to her room, hoping to get some sleep. However, a few hours later, she was awoken by the same hissing sound. She thought it was impossible because she had locked her door, but she noticed a big lump in her bed next to her. She nervously reaches over to see who or what it was, when suddenly her crazy neighbor leapt out of the bed and ran straight into the closet. The girl was absolutely terrified and ran out to her room and called the police. But by the time they had got there, she was gone and never seen again. Well, back in 2009, residents of Chihuahua City in Mexico began noticing something very disturbing. A mysterious woman known only as the Night Lady would climb onto rooftops during the day only to break into homes through windows at night and snatch children. One child ever survived this abduction, and he recounted waking up to find the Night Lady staring at him with a knife in her hand. But now listen to this. People dismissed this as a hoax, but on one occasion a teenage girl managed to capture a photo of the Night Lady from her ground floor window. The very next day, another child had disappeared. Despite an extensive investigation, the Night Lady was never caught, and the lost children were never found.